Mexico City is home to 22 million people, and right now it is completely running out of drinking water. But if you visit during the rainy season, you'll find the exact opposite problem. The city routinely drowns in extreme, paralyzing floods. And to make matters even more complicated, the metropolis is physically sinking into the earth, dropping by as much as 40 centimeters every single year. This isn't a sudden natural disaster. It's a 500-year human-engineered catastrophe. You might have seen global headlines predicting an imminent day zero for Mexico City, warning that its surface reservoirs are about to run completely dry. This chart shows the region's low rainfall is within the normal 50-year average. Surface reservoirs typically bounce back when rain returns. The bottom section reveals the actual crisis. Populations served by reservoirs stayed stable, while districts relying on over-extracted underground well water have exploded. While headlines track a temporary surface drought, a permanent structural failure is unfolding beneath the pavement. Back in the 1300s, the Aztecs built Tenochtitlan, a floating civilization on Lake Texcoco. They lived in perfect hydrologic equilibrium, using a precise system of canals and dikes to manage the water levels around them. When the Spanish arrived in the 16th century, they mandated the complete draining of the lake basin to expand their European-style settlement over the water. Fast forward to the 20th century population boom, and millions of tons of concrete were poured directly over that newly dried lake bed. That vast expanse of urban concrete acts like a giant seal. Now, when the region's abundant seasonal rains fall, the water cannot soak into the ground to refill the natural aquifers, the underground layers of porous rock that store water sitting below the surface. By paving over the entire basin, the city's planners physically cut off the region's natural ability to store and manage its own water supply. With rainwater blocked, the city frantically pumps 50% of its drinking water straight from these sealed aquifers. As water is extracted, the clay beneath compresses, causing the ground level to drop by up to 9 meters, a process known as land subsidence. Locked in a cycle, the city must cannibalize its own geological foundation just to find drinking water, destroying the very ground it stands on. Keeping the city functioning requires an extreme fight against gravity in 2 different directions. Because the ground sank, the city's old drainage canals lost their downward slope. To prevent catastrophic flooding during storms, engineers had to build massive, deep tunnels to actively pump rainwater out of the basin. Meanwhile, to replace the depleted aquifers, the Cutzamala megasystem uses immense electrical power to pump imported drinking water up over 1,000 meters into the city. As the ground constantly sinks and shifts, it fractures the underground pipes. The city currently loses 40% of this hard-won treated water, leaking it right back into the dirt. Mexico City expends massive resources to pump drinking water up the mountains and pump floodwater out of the valley, only to lose nearly half of its supply to the broken earth. But when infrastructure collapses, the human cost is severe. This socially produced disaster functions as a massive inequality multiplier. Wealthy neighborhoods connected to the Cutzamala surface water system consume up to 6 times the city average. For them, water rationing is a relatively new inconvenience. But for poorer neighborhoods reliant on over-extracted underground wells, the situation is grim. Residents have protested for decades over water supplies that are highly contaminated and frequently shut off. Those without reliable piped access face a severe economic burden. They are forced to buy their daily water from private tanker trucks, participating in an expensive, informal water economy just to survive. A failing municipal water system splinters the city into 2 distinct realities, an annoyance for the rich and a daily, expensive crisis for the poor. The government is attempting to mitigate the damage. The Water Sustainability Program is currently focused on fixing the massive 40% leakage rate and mandating rainwater harvesting on new buildings. Engineers are also exploring complex solutions, like treating the city's wastewater and injecting it directly back into the underground aquifer to try and halt the sinking. Mexico City serves as a warning that engineering can delay a crisis, but it cannot fix a broken hydrologic cycle.